let's see. Here we go. He was a boy, the age of 10, and he loved her even then, much too shy to let her know. So he wrote a song for a talent show. The whole crowd cheered and stomped their feet, but they were just a blur. As far as he could see, the room held only her. I can sing, I can dance, I can show you true romance. If it's love that you need, I will give it willingly. So let me try with all my might. I will offer the moon tonight, along with stars from above, if you would only be my love. They'd been married 7 years. One day she started having fears. Her girlfriend said, all men are fools. Sooner or later he'll break the rules. That very evening she came home to 100 roses red. While she cried happy tears, he held her close and said, I can sing, I can dance, I can show you true romance. If it's love that you need, I will give it willingly. So let me try with all my might. I will offer the moon tonight, along with stars from above, if you would only be my love. He'd very rarely say, she's my wife. He'd usually say, she's my life. His every breath he breathed for her, till he finally breathed no more. She held on a little while, living life without a smile. Near the end she couldn't speak, she couldn't move at all. And on one special moonlit night, she heard him call. I can sing, I can dance, I can show you true romance. And the love that you need, I will give eternally. So let me try with all my might. Come and take the moon tonight, along with stars here above. You are my one and only love. I can sing, I can dance, I can show you true romance. And the love that you need, I will give it endlessly. So let me try with all my might. I will offer the moon tonight, along with stars from above, if you would only be my love. Thank you. This fell off my belt. We're going to put this back, and hopefully it won't fall off again. All right. Let's do another song. So much noise and disrespect we find at every place. Troubles that we don't expect, and people in your face. Don't you wish you could make it change? Don't you wish you knew that there was something you could do? Be the change. Be the change. Whatever others do, all the power is in you. Take the lead. All you need, if you want to change the world, be the change. There is hatred more and more, it's everywhere I see. From the folks who live next door and Washington, D.C. If I rail at it all alone, Would my voice get through? What can one little person do? Be the change. Be the change. Whatever others do, all the power is in you. Take the lead. All you need, if you want to change the world, be the change. You give me bad, I give it back, and round we go. It only gets worse, that's a guarantee. But before we have one more attack, here's what I need to know. Who will break the circle, if not me? Be the change. Be the change. Whatever others do, all the power is in you. Take the lead. All you need, if you want to change the world, be the change. It's the way to change the world, be the change. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm going to tell you a completely true story. Warning, this story does not have a happy ending. Okay, sorry. Okay, back in the early part of the 20th century, in the American Southwest, there was a criminal, and he was a spectacularly inept criminal. One time he tried to blow open a safe that contained gold and silver coins. It took him 4 tries till he used enough nitro to open the safe, but the heat from the first 3 tries had fused all the coins together and fused them to the inside of the safe. Couldn't get anything out. Another time he tried to blow open a safe that was against the back wall of a bank. This time he used a little too much nitro. He sent the safe careening across the floor, out through the front wall and into the street. But my favorite story of his incompetence is when he and his crew robbed a train that had been carrying over $1 million in cash, and they robbed it after it had dropped off the money. Now, with this level of ineptitude, it's not surprising that pretty soon the law caught up with him and they killed him. And that's when the story starts to get really interesting, because for the next 66 years, his body traveled around the United States as a sideshow exhibit, as a carnival attraction, as a museum piece, as a movie promotional prop. And finally in 1977, when they were filming an episode of The $6 Million Man in a fun house in California, the set decorator's looking around, he says, "Oh, orange-painted Day-Glow dummy with a noose around its neck. Get it out of there." And the stagehand went and grabbed it by the arm, and the arm came off. And I'm guessing that the stagehand looked at the shoulder and said something like, "This ain't styrofoam." So they had to figure out who he was, and that's a story in itself. They finally did. And what are they going to do with the body? Well, he was shot in Oklahoma, very close to the town of Guthrie in Oklahoma. And Guthrie, as it turns out, has a tourist attraction, a boot hill where there's several other notorious outlaws buried. So they said, "We'll bury him," and bury him they did with an elaborate funeral with little girls throwing flower petals in front of the glass horse-drawn horse with the sheriff and the mayor on horseback. And after they lower the coffin down there, they poured 2 feet of concrete over him, just in case anybody had any bright ideas. Now, I heard this story full of mayhem and dismemberment and grave robbing and murder and all this stuff, and I thought, what perfect source material for a lighthearted musical comedy. Right? And so I called a scriptwriter, we put one together, and here's where the story does not have a happy ending. About 8 years later, some well-connected people, they also wrote a story about the same guy, whose name was Elmer, and theirs flopped on Broadway, which completely kills any chance of mine getting produced. So that's the unhappy ending. So here's a song where Elmer's friend is trying to convince him to adopt a life of crime. Just the right amount of wrong is how we're gonna make things right. Are you gonna go along, or are you gonna stand and fight? They try to tell us that we're weak, but we can show them that we're strong. We can start our lives all over with a lucky new streak and just the right amount of wrong. Just a good amount of bad to counteract the bad they do. With all the good luck that they had, what they ever do for me and you. They take the meat, we get the skin, but don't it make you mad? If we're evening things up a bit, it won't be a sin. It's just a good amount of bad. We could be living it swell like in a fancy hotel if we could get what they got and have a mansion and yacht. And when we're grabbing it dough, we would be striking a blow for the poor common man. And then the factory, the cats, the bloated plutocrats will learn that this is the day they're gonna have to pay. If we do the thing that Robin Hood was doing before, it's just the right amount of wrong. Just a sweet amount of tough is all that we are gonna need. We're just gonna take enough, not like them with all their greed. Those misers who have such excess when we ain't even got enough. We can teach them all the right way, they can settle for less with just a sweet amount of tough. We could be living it swell like in a fancy hotel if we could get what they got and have a mansion and yacht. And when we're grabbing that dough, we would be striking a blow for the poor common man. And then the factory cats, the bloated old plutocrats will learn that this is the day. It's been coming for so long. If we do the thing that Robin Hood was doing before, it's just the right amount of clear their bank account up, do it with the right amount of wrong. Thank you. All right. When I called, R.C. Stabb was the scriptwriter who did this, and when I called him up and asked him to do this, he said, "Wait, let me get this straight. You want me to write the script for a musical where the main character is dead for most of it?" And I said, "Yes." He did a good job, and he said to me, "Well, of course, we got to give him a girlfriend. He has to have a love interest. So this is a song where his love interest bemoans the choice she made." They used to say in my maiden youth, the perfect man was coming. They all did swear that it was the truth, and he would soon be here. And I did believe it, as I'd sit and wait. Did I misperceive what was to be my fate? I never dreamed that my silly soul would choose me such a mate. Oh no, he's not perfect, but I guarantee how bereft I would be if he were not with me. I need not a champion with treasures to bring. I need not a hero nor king. Though so many women would bid him adieu and wait for a prince who deserves their I do. But I'm here to implore him, live for him, adore him, for I am imperfect too. I'd see my cousins and friends and those who had gentlemen callers while never jealous of all their beaux, for mine would soon be here. And I'd sit and daydream 'neath the willow tree. Finally it may seem that it's come to be. I never dreamed that my harebrained heart chose such a man for me. Oh no, he's not perfect, but I guarantee how bereft I would be if he were not with me. I care not a whit, be he hero or knave, when he's all that I ever could crave. Though so many women would bid him adieu and say he's not worthy of me, which is true, but I'm here to implore him, live for him, adore him, for I am imperfect too. Thank you. So you know how often when a songwriter is doing a bunch of their stuff and they say, and then I wrote? Well, no. I'm going to say, and previously I had written, before I did that, I had co-written another show about the last radio station in America where everything is done live. Okay. I'm going to take a little sip of water while you digest that fact. And as part of the plot, there's this big radio conglomerate that wants to buy their station, and it turns out that they want to buy it and turn it into a hate radio station. So somebody asked them the question, well, who is it that you hate? And that's what this is. Oh, and I should say that the views expressed in this particular song are the views of that nasty character and not the views of the songwriter. Not mine. All right, thank you. We hate everyone who's skinny. We hate everyone who's tall. We hate all of the fat ones and the ones who stand up small. We also hate the people who maintain an average weight. And all the ones of average height we also love to hate. We hate the intellectual who's so proud of his brain. We hate the one who's too dumb to come in out of the rain. And how we hate the middle brow who won't make up his mind between his guilty pleasures and the things that are refined. We hate Hindus, we hate Muslims, Hare Krishnas make us pissed. We hate the Zoroastrian and the goddamn atheist. We hate Janists, we hate Buddhists, we hate universal U's. We hate Christians, we hate Shintos, and of course, we hate the Jews. We hate all of the Arabs, may their camels nest with fleas. We hate all the Hispanics, and we hate the Japanese. We hate the colored people, let's abolish civil rights. We hate Inuits and Indians, and also hate the whites. The Irish, the English, the Swedes, and the Finnish, Mexicans, Greeks, Lithuanians, let's. Tibetans, Somalis, Chileans, Bengalis, the Danes, the Australians, the French with their pets. Namibians, Bolivians, Iranians, Canadians, Romanians, Tanzanians, people from Cork. Estonians, Bolognians, Brazilians, Castilians, Sicilians, and millions of folks in New York. All Norwegians, Polynesians, Fiji Islanders, Scottish Highlanders, Ecuadorians, Singaporeans, all Hungarians, Rastafarians, all Armenians, Argentinians, Malinese, Balinese, Cubans, Arubans, every Kuwaiti, people from Haiti, folks from Kenya, Ladi Lenya, Lithuanians, Transylvanians, Mauritanians, Pennsylvanians, Macedonians, New Caledonians, ladies and mans, and radio fans. We hate the lousy socialists for forcing us to share. Capitalists are even worse because they do not care. We hate communists and barterers, perhaps by now you see. I hate each one of you, and I am not too fond of me. Thank you. Okay, so we go from hate to love. This is about songs about love. I'm going to talk about this song after I do it for you. Sometimes we can't walk this world like we want to. Sometimes it seems we just don't have a chance. That's when your heart must do what your feet can't do. When you can't walk, that's when you need to dance. And when you dance, dance like a lover with all the emotion that you have inside. And when you love, love like a dancer. Don't let them say you've got something to hide. Sometimes this world's filled with hurtful illusion. Nothing's certain below us, lies from above. Don't let them beat you down with confusion. When you can't even dream, that's when you need to love. And when you love, love like a dancer with all the emotion that you have inside. And when you dance, dance like a lover. Don't let them say you've got something to hide. Some will say there's things you cannot say. There's some who you will find will try to silence everything, but they'll never keep you quiet if you keep one thing in mind. When you can't talk, you must sing. You must sing. And when you dance, dance like a lover with all the emotion that you have inside. When you love, love like a dancer. Don't let them say you've got something to hide. How you dance and you love, it's only yours to decide. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so is it people keep trying to guess why I wrote this song, and they keep getting it wrong, and I like that, so I'm going to tell you. I had a friend who was a dancer, and he died, and I sang it at his funeral, and people thought I wrote it for him, and I didn't. And you see, I walk with a cane. I can't dance like I used to, and some people thought I wrote it for myself, and I didn't. And I sang it at an event, and there were a lot of the people there were, I got to get this right, LGBTQT, right? And they thought I wrote it for their community, and I didn't. So, anybody know who Sally Rand was?
Oh my God.
Sally Rand invented the fan dance. She would dance with 2 6-foot fans, and presumably she was naked behind them. Spoiler alert: she wasn't. She had a flesh-colored bodysuit, and she had to go to trial. She got arrested for indecency, and her defense was that the Rand is quicker than the eye. Right? And speaking of fetching blondes, has anybody ever seen Hee-Haw? Remember Hee-Haw? And you remember the squeaky-voiced blonde with the polka dot blouse named Misty? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So I was actually, after Hee-Haw, I was Misty's musical director for about 20 years. And Misty wrote a show about Sally Rand. And then their relationship is a whole other story. So the producers of Misty's show said, well, okay, we're going to have some original music. We want you to write some original songs, and we want to have some licensed music. So for the finale, we're trying to get the license to I Hope You Dance, but we might not be able to. So if we can get I Hope You Dance, can you write something that sounds like it, that's kind of like it, has the same feeling? So that's what you just heard. My attempted rip-off of I Hope You Dance. Okay, so now we go from strippers and things to a song written for children, right? This song written for children. He called me a name it made me feel so bad. He called me a name, it made me feel so sad. He called me a dummy, it makes me want to scream. How could he be so mean? Well, what if he called me a tree? I know I'm not one, so if he called me a tree, it might even be fun. What if he called me a fish? I know that's not true. I'm not a tree and I'm not a fish, and I am not a dummy too. She called me a name, it made me feel so bad. She called me a name, it even made me mad. She called me a baby, I want to hurt her now. Could I not feel bad somehow? Well, what if she called me a cloud? I'm not up in the sky. What if she called me a bird? I can't even fly. I think that she is confused. She's confused. What she said isn't true. I'm not a cloud and I'm not a bird, and I am not a baby too. When they call you a name, and you know they might, because there's lots of folks who just can't get it right. When they call you a name, they have got it wrong. You can stand up and be strong, 'cause they don't know how cool you are and what's inside your head. They don't know what's in your heart. It's just some junk they said. They think they hit on a truth, but they missed it really far. You're not the name that they call you, you're the person that you know you are. Thank you. All right, I did not write this next song. It is, however, from my upcoming album, Songs I Learned at My Mother's Knee and Other Joints. Now, usually I say, when I play plays, I say everybody knows part of this song, and probably nobody here knows all of it. But I know, like Joe's audiences, Joe and Susan's audiences, it's very possible that some of you know all of it. So here's what you do. Please sing along on the parts that you know. And if you find that you do know the parts that you don't know, you can sing on them. Matt Casey formed a social club which beat the town for style and hired for the meeting place a hall. When payday came around each week, they greased the floor with wax and danced with noise and vigor at the ball. Each Saturday you'd see them dressed up in Sunday clothes. Each lad would have a sweetheart by his side. When Casey led the first grand march, they all would fall in line behind the man who was their joy and pride. And Casey would waltz with a strawberry blonde, and the band played on. He'd glide across the floor with the girl he adored, and the band played on. His brain was so loaded, it nearly exploded. The poor girl would shake with alarm. He'd ne'er leave the girl with the strawberry curl, and the band played on. kissing in the corner and such whispering in the hall, and telling tales of love behind the stair. As Casey was the favorite and he that ran the ball, of kissing and love-making did his share. At 12 o'clock exactly, they all would fall in line, then march down to the dining hall and eat. But Casey would not join them, although everything was fine, for he stayed upstairs and exercised his feet. And Casey would waltz with the strawberry blonde, and the band played on. He'd glide across the floor with the girl he adored, and the band played on. His brain was so loaded it nearly exploded. The poor girl would shake with alarm. He'd ne'er leave the girl with the strawberry curl, and the band played on. Now when the dance was over and the band played Home Sweet Home, they played a tune at Casey's own request. See, nothing ever changes. The dance is over. The band plays the song that says, "Go home," and there's always one guy who stands up and says, "Play another song." But he was a gentleman. He thanked them very kindly for the favors they had shown. Then he'd waltz once with the girl that he loved best. Most all the friends are married whom Casey used to know, and Casey too has taken him a wife, while the blonde he used to waltz and glide with on the dance hall floor is happy Mrs. Casey now for life. Let's see, I have a friend named Paul Gazone, who's an excellent songwriter and producer. He says I shouldn't bother singing the first verse to this song, but Paul's not here, so I'm going to sing it. If I only had one mother, it would not be very hard. When Mother's Day should roll around to get the gala card. But as I'm very lucky, I would have to do much more. I'd have to buy out every card that's in the store. I have 10 million mothers, they take good care of me. Each one's played a part in shaping who I've come to be. I have 10 million sources of learning, love, and food, and every one of them deserves my gratitude. Someone grew the grain that landed in my breakfast bowl. Someone milled and someone toasted. Someone carved the little hole. Someone loaded up the truck. Somebody drove the load. And long ago, a lot of people built the road. I have 10 million mothers, they take good care of me. Each one's played a part in shaping who I've come to be. I have 10 million sources of learning and love and food, and every one of them deserves my gratitude. For the water in my faucet. Many labored hard and long. To build a grand piano takes at least 500 strong. And there's the generosity, and there's the fundamental worth of the mother of us all we call the earth. I have 10 million mothers that take real good care of me. Each one has played a part in shaping who I have come to be. I have 10 million sources of learning and love and food, and every one of them has earned my gratitude. And every one of you has earned my gratitude. All right. Oh, this song, I will never record this next song because it's a copyright infringement lawsuit waiting to happen. I should probably mention that my wife's name is Rachel. Mr. Hoagie Carmichael, he sat down and wrote a song about moonlight through the pines. But while I'm down in Georgia, I got Rachel on my mind. Yeah, there are showgirls who are agile, and there are actresses so young, and we got southern belles so friendly and refined. But they all only remind me that I got Rachel on my mind. Other eyes smile tenderly when I sing my song. Still in peaceful dreams I see that the road without her is far too long. Don't wanna look at no one till I see her again. While without her I might just as well be blind. 'Cause way down deep in Georgia I got Rachel on my mind, back on my mind. And just an old sweet song, and I got Rachel on my mind. Thank you. Thanks so much. All right. Maybe I give Rumi, the 16th century poet, give him some co-writer credit because he wrote a poem that says, "Before you spell." I'm just going to do the song. But it was inspired by Rumi, right? Okay, let's see. I went online and looked around, quickly grew alarmed. Some fool said teachers all should be required to be armed. I started typing angrily, a teacher's not a cop. I was opening both barrels until three thoughts made me stop. Is it true? Is it kind? Will it help the type of person who's already closed their mind? Do I have the right to put him down just 'cause I'm so inclined? Is it true? Will it help? Is it kind? A driver on the road was making dangerous mistakes, like cutting right in front so close I had to slam my brakes. I pulled up beside him with my mouth an open frown. I had to stop and think before I rolled my window down. Is it kind? Is it true? Will it help him understand that there are better things to do? Or am I only looking for an angry pod to do? Is it kind? Will it help? Is it true? There are times when I've been right and times I've been so very wrong. I would not play well with others or know how to get along. But the words I heard that told me they were harsh and uncontrolled. Could I treat someone else that cold? Look, we've all been there with someone so stupid we could scoff. Or perhaps they hurt our feelings, or perhaps just pissed us off. We feel that we'll feel better if we let them taste our bile. Ain't it better to feel better by considering for a while? Is it true? Is it kind? Will it help to make a world I'd like my grandchildren to find? Will I add to all the noise or try to tune some harmony? Is it true? Is it kind? Will it be of use to someone? Is it true? Is it kind? Will it help? Thank you. All right, I'm going to do one more song, and then you all can get some of these delightful, delicious refreshments that Sue has been really working hard to prepare for you. So, all right, I was impressed. You know, I really was. So, okay, so what is this? This is a song where pretty much everything in it is verifiably true. Okay? Yeah, no, it is. Early in the morning of August 27th, Stevie Ray awoke from a dream, feeling terrified yet oddly peaceful at the strange sight he had seen. He said he dreamed he was there at his own funeral, and there were thousands of people around, mourning for him and cheering him on as he got put into the ground. Well, that night he was playing for 37,000. The lineup was pure blues bliss. The legendary Buddy Guy and Steve's brother Jim and his band, Reese and Tommy and Chris, and Robert Cray and the Memphis Horns with Eric Clapton heading the show. And they all played together on the very last song, singing, "Baby, don't you wanna go?" Everybody dies, we all gonna die. I'm gonna die someday. And when I go, Lord, I'd like to go like Stevie Ray. Well, Stevie was the one who owned the stage that night. His playing made them laugh and cry. Jimmy said Steve was on a whole other plane, and he gave goosebumps to Buddy Guy. He told his band that he loved them after giving those people much more than their money's worth. Then he climbed in that bird, and the bird took off, and then Steve became one with the earth. Everybody dies, we all gonna die. I'm gonna die someday. And when I go, Lord, please let me go like Stevie Ray. Start with, and I'm just going to play an old song to start. Pack up all my cares and woe, here I go, singing low. Bye, bye, blackbird. Where somebody waits for me, sugar sweet, so is she. Bye, bye.
I don't want to kiss, and I sure don't want to hold your hand. If that sounds funny, then try to understand. There is really nothing else I would rather do. I'm happy just to dance with you. I don't need to hug, I don't need to hold you tight. I just want to dance with you all night. In this world, there's nothing I would rather do. I'm happy just to dance with you. Just to dance with you. That's everything that I'm ever going to need. Before this dance is through, I think I'm going to love you too. I'm so happy when you dance with me. And if someone should try to take my place, we can pretend we never even saw his face. In this world, there's not one thing that I would rather do. I've discovered I'm in love with you. I'm happy just to dance with you. I want to tell you about Walter Lord. Walter Lord wrote history books that were bestsellers. For one thing, he wrote the definitive book on the Titanic called A Night to Remember. As a matter of fact, the first first movie about the Titanic was called A Night to Remember. And he, as a matter of fact, he got a credit in the James Cameron movie too. And he wrote other, like I say, other history books that were on the bestseller list. He wrote one about Pearl Harbor called Day of Infamy. He wrote some about the Civil War. All right, and I like to tell jokes. And sometimes you just meet someone and you can tell them the perfect joke. So this became Walter's favorite joke. There were two guys sitting at the bar at Los Angeles Airport. And one guy is from New York and he is moving to Jerusalem. He's going to live there. And the other guy is from Beijing, and he's going to catch a small flight up to Silicon Valley, where he's got a job there. And they're sitting there at the bar, and their flights are delayed, and they keep drinking, and they keep drinking. And all of a sudden, the guy from New York hits the guy from Beijing, just hits him out of the place. And the guy says, "Hey, what was that for?" He says, "That's for Pearl Harbor." Pearl Harbor? What are you, crazy? I wasn't born yet. I'm not even Japanese, I'm Chinese. The guy from New York says, Chinese, Japanese, what's the difference? Right? And the guy, when he says that, the guy from Beijing hits the guy who's moving to Jerusalem, and he knocks him off his stool. He's there on the floor. He's looking up, rubbing his chin. He says, "Yeah, okay, I guess I deserve that." He goes, "No, that's not because you hit me." He says, "That's for sinking the Titanic." He says, "Sinking the Titanic? What are you crazy?" He says, "It was an iceberg." He says, "Iceberg, Steinberg, what's the difference?" So when I went back to see Walter the next week, his nurse told me that he had told that joke to every visitor he had. So why am I telling you about Walter? because Walter, in addition to writing best-selling books, he wrote the lyrics to the Third Man's Theme. Right? It was the custom back then to, if there was a movie theme, that the publisher would engage somebody to write lyrics for it, especially if it had been a hit song, which the Third Man's Theme was, an instrumental hit. And I asked Walter, I said, so what did Anton Karas, it was the zither player who wrote the music, I asked him, what did Anton Karas think of your lyrics? He said, not much, because now he was going to have to share the royalties. I'm not going to sing it, though. I'm just going to play it. Do another song from Cows. Cows, K-O-W-S. That was the name of the radio station in the previous musical. So this is a song the station manager sings this when it seems like the station is indeed going to be sold. For 44 years, every day she would toil at a company trading in coal and in oil. The day she retired, the firm was acquired. There's more trouble now than this hard-working gal ever feared. Because the pension fund money seems to have all disappeared. And nobody knows where the money went, borrowed or squandered or stolen or spent. It can make a poor girl weep and wail. They claim they were bankrupt when they were sold, but that old CEO has a mountain of gold. Is this country free? is it only for sale? Month after month, that big check he would pay. He knew he'd need his health insurance someday. When he cracked his head, he nearly was dead. The doctor just gave him some aspirin and said, off you go. And then the doctor got a commendation from that HMO. He told them he'd paid them so well for so long. They gave him a dance and they gave him a song. It could make a poor boy weep and wail. He paid to see all kinds of specialists. They let him see a gynecologist. Is this country free, or is it only for sale? If you'd make a change, well, they used to say you could run for some office somewhere. But how can you run for an office today if you're not a billionaire? With rats running wild, the area stank. They'd walk half a mile to the subway or bank. For years they'd endured. Where else could poor folks live, paying rent every month to that old fat cat? But now the neighborhood's trendy, and they've been tossed out of their flat. But people are working and paying their bills, sweating at Walmarts and restaurants and mills, toiling at that minimum pay scale. They trust the foundation they're standing on till somebody buys it and then it's gone. Is this the land of the free, or is this country for sale? Is this country free, or is it only for sale? Okay, this song took about 40 years to write. Why? Because I was about 10 and my sister told me a joke. And she told me more than one joke when I was 10. Anyway, this particular one. And then about 40 years later, I made the joke into a song. The old Lone Ranger was chasing some villains. He didn't know where they fled. He found some guy who'd seen him riding by. This is what the fella said. They headed north and somewhat east, up toward Canada way. He turned around to his faithful friend, and this is what the ranger did say. He hollered, Onto, Toronto, Tonto, Pronto. We gotta catch them guys. We're gonna capture some malefactors underneath the northern skies. While we're there, we'll breathe the cool, crisp air, maybe even see some moose. Onto, Toronto, Tonto, Pronto, the bad guys still are loose. Well, while the ranger was catching them dastards, he met Miss Northern Lil. Sometime after they got back home, he realized that he loved her still. His hand was shaking so darn bad, he could barely hold his 38. He knew that it was time to leave his home in a Lone Star State. So he hollered, Onto, Toronto, Tonto, Pronto, let's saddle up and ride. I'll find that dame with the northern name and take her for my bride. I'll lose my gun, hang up my mask, and have a kid or 3 or 4. Onto, Toronto, Tonto, Pronto, I won't be alone no more. No, no, I won't be alone, no. I won't be alone no more. So anybody remember seeing Kindergarten Report Card? I'm going to get a little over here while I talk about this. Kindergarten Report Card. It has a category. One of the things kids get graded in is how well they play with others. Right? And there's usually like 4 possibilities. Plays very well with others. Plays okay with others. Does not play well with others. And I'm going to paraphrase the last one. Something like, well, we're not allowed to label a 5-year-old as a sociopath, but really get this kid some trouble, some therapy, some help. All right, well, I realize that these 4 categories correspond to different types of guitar players. So, plays very well with others. That would be rhythm guitar players. That would be the guys who are back there in the band, strumming the chords. You know, they are the backbone of American music, and really, we need them. Where would we be without rhythm guitar players? Plays very well with others. Plays okay with others. That would be lead guitar players. Yeah, you know, they've got their reputations, right, and some issues, but, you know, if you don't have a horn player, if you don't have a fiddle player, you're going to need to have a lead guitar player. Does not play well with others. That would be those of us who arrange and practice unaccompanied guitar solos. I mean, some of us used to live with perfectly lovely people who were more than competent as bass players, and we say, no, thank you, I'm going to do this myself. Okay, so there you have it. A different type of guitar player for every possible grade that a kid could get for, right, that in kindergarten. What?
No, wait, wasn't there a 4th category?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad somebody asked or this bit wouldn't work, right? Okay, right. That's the kind like, does not play well with others at all. You know, get some intervention so that the New York Post in 20 years doesn't, you know, cite this kid as a reason to bring back capital punishment. All right, so that would be those of us who arrange and practice unaccompanied guitar duets. Now, think about this. Somebody, in this case Irving Berlin, sat down, wrote a song for 2 people, and we just say, no, thank you. I will do this by myself. props for this next song. I'll tell you why. Because the first verse is a story. I still work at a Unitarian Universalist congregation, and the former minister there used to tell a story, and that's the story that's the first verse of this song. And I knew what I wanted to say for the third verse. I didn't have a second verse, and I said, Mason, can you think of a character from literature who did not do what he was supposed to do, and it came back and bit him? And he said, well, duh, Spider-Man. So there you go. So that's how Spider-Man got into this song. So thank you. The king was in his palace. He was eating rice and honey. The drop fell out the window. He thought that it was funny. Someone tried to clean it up, and His Highness told him stop. It's really not a problem, and it's just a little drop. Besides, there ain't nothing in it for me. There ain't nothing in it for me. I got a lot in my bowl, and cleaning ain't even work for bourgeoisie. But a fly licked the honey, and a lizard ate the fly, and a cat hit the lizard right in the eye. A dog broke loose and attacked the cat. The people got involved and excited at that. Soon they're fighting all over town. They got so mad they burned palace down. The king said, I would have bet my crown that there ain't nothing in it for me. Well, now Spider-Man was a teenage kid when he first got his powers. He realized he was a dangerous guy in just a few short hours. A crook was running by and Spidey let him get away. When a cop came up and said, thanks a lot, he heard that young man say, hey, there ain't nothing in it for me. There ain't nothing in it for me. Besides, I'm late for an interview at WNYC. But the crook kept going and he didn't get far before he decided he'd need a car. The car he figured he would steal had Spider-Man's uncle at the wheel. The crook got in and off he fled, but not before poor uncle was dead. And that was the last time Spider-Man said, there ain't nothing in it for me. Now there's folks who when they need to go can't even find a pot. If we got up off our couches, we could really help a lot. But I got a nice big screen TV, and if it's all the same, hey, playoff season's almost here, I will not miss a game. Besides, there ain't nothing in it for me. There ain't nothing in it for me. I work hard for all my stuff. I got me a graduate degree. But when too many folks have caught bad breaks, they can't buy stuff that my boss makes. So I get laid off and the bills come due. And pretty soon I'm homeless too. Don't think it can't happen to me or you, or that there ain't nothing in it for me. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to end with my cheerful song about planetary destruction. Thank you, by the way. I had a real good time.
Thank you.
Here we go.
A planet known as Jupiter is somewhere out in space. Another one called Saturn's in a nearby cosmic place. And if you care to do the math, anyone could see between them these two planets bring a lot of gravity. Some 60 million years ago, or roughly thereabout, a meteor hit the Earth and dinosaurs were all wiped out. And so were lots of plants and many other living things. Well, that's the kind of trouble that a giant meteor brings. But that's a rare occurrence. What happens usually is meteors hit Jupiter with all its gravity instead of you and me. So I'd like to say I'm grateful that a great big gaseous sphere takes hits which otherwise might wipe out most of life down here. could use this to be thankful and be glad. And when a bad day happens, see, it really ain't so bad. Thank you.
One more for Michael, huh?
All right, so I'm going to let you choose. One would be another sing-along, easy, very easy sing-along. Okay, that I know you'll all be able to handle. The other would be a song that has a story about 9-year-old Joe and 10-year-old Michael sitting at the piano, singing a song that we should have been slapped for at that point, but that most of you here can absolutely relate to it. That, you know what? That's what I'm going to do.
That's the song.
Very good. Thank you so much. Because we were sitting at the piano, and we're both learning chords at that point. We got one of my father's fake books, and we play a song, and we turn the page and play another song and sing it, and we're learning chords. And the reason I remember this is because this song had a 13th chord, and you pointed to the 13th chord with wide eyes, like, how are we going to play that, right? But like I say, at the time, being 9 and 10 years old respectively, we should have been slapped for singing this song, but now I can sing it. You'll understand. You'll understand. G. Okay. Old man time, he's so mean, meanest man you've ever seen. He gives you youth, then he steals it away. He takes your nice, pretty hair, turns it gray, makes you rich, makes you poor. He's a dog, that's for sure. Every year it gets worse, no cause or rhyme. He gives you beauty, charm, and grace, then he puts wrinkles on your face. That old man time, that bugaboo. Every year he changes you. He bends your back, dims your eyes, you see less. You quake and shake. When he's done, you're a mess. Makes you forget words, too. All your dreams and your schemes ain't worth a dime. So have a good time every day, 'cause you'll never get away from old man.